PKK. Yes, a PKK. This is in Polish. I will display it on the screen. It's called Profil Kadita na Krakowi. I hope I pronounced that well, but I will display it on the screen. So don't. Hi guys, welcome to Emmanuel Comfort Us. And if you are joining us for the first time, my name is Emmanuel and this is Emmanuel Comfort Us. Today's video we'll be talking about a very important topic which will be very helpful to us, which is how to get a Polish driver license. I believe this video will be informative. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you. So before I start, I would first of all tell us the importance of driver license, Polish driver license. The fact that it's valid for 15 years upon obtaining this driver license. You can also use it as a source of identity card anywhere you go to around Poland. You can use this as a source of identity card, and also it's valid in EU countries. So this is also a benefit. If you are migrating to another European Union country, you can also use this to drive in such countries. I believe if you would be staying in Poland for a number of years, it's important for you to get a driver license. And also, if you are a family man or a family woman, if you have children or you are planning to have children, I think you should get a Polish driver license, or you should get a driver license to move around the cities and countries. So with this importance of driver license, I believe you'll be convinced to get a driver license. But before that, I would first of all, share my story, my experience, how I obtained my driver license within 2 months. I would also share the obstacles I face, and of course, I will tell you guys step by step on how to obtain a Polish driver license. Step by step on obtaining a Polish driver license, the first thing to do is to obtain a PKK. Yes, a PKK. This is in Polish. I will display it on the screen. It's called Profil Kadita na Krakowi. I hope I pronounced that well, but I will display it on the screen, so don't bother yourself. This is PKK is the first thing to get. It's an electronic document which contains a unique number and information identifying the person applying for issuance of a document confirming the right to drive. So PKK is the first thing to get. And how do you get this? You have to go to the Department of Motor Vehicle for Administrative Control District. In Polish is Starostowy. So I will put also the link in the description below. Depending on the city you are in Poland, you can go to this department to get your PKK. And if you would go to the place, there are documents you need to come along with, or you take along with you. So to get your PKK, you need this document. If you are a resident of Poland, you're a citizen, you need a Polish valid identity card. If you are not a Polish citizen, of course, if you are a resident, if you have a valid visa or your Karta Pobytu, that's temporary resident permit, these documents are allowed or are necessary. So the visa has to be valid and shows that you've been in the country for up to 185 days. So if you have been in the country for up to 105 days, you don't have your temporary resident card, but of course you have your valid visa, you can apply for the PKK. And also you have your, of course I've said that resident card, you've been staying in the country for a while, that's temporary or permanent resident card. And you also have a certificate of non-contradiction to driving issued by occupational medicine. So this is like going to the doctor for like eye tests. This costs about 100 to 200 PLN. So you go to the doctor, you do the like eye test, and then they certify that you can drive on their road, so you get a certificate. And also, if you are not up to 18 years, you get a written consent from your parent or guardian. So these documents are what you will take to the PKK office to get your valid PKK. So the PKK is just, like I said earlier, a unique number, a candidate registration number peculiar to you. So for you to drive in Poland or in EU country, you need this PKK number. All right. So having got that, I would explain theory and practical exams on how to acquire this. So I'll also share my experience in between. All right. To get this driver license, if you are a fresh driver, I mean you want to learn, or you do not have a valid driver's license from your country or international driver license, even if you know how to drive, you have to go through the driving school. That's the mandatory class you have to go to. So for you to get this, you need to go online, or reach out to people that have done this. They would give you or refer you to a driving school, which are very in between, I mean affordable, and you can speak with them. They have their range of price. I will also explain these procedures to you. During my time, I mean when I got mine, I was in school studying, I was also working, so apparently we need to schedule a time for these trainings and the likes. So I would explain the theory and the practical. So for the theory, you need to register after your PKK number is out. You can register with the school. I mean, it depends if you want to go through the school for the theory, because once you go through the school, they will ask you if you want them to teach you or to lecture you on how to pass the theory. The theory exam is just for 25 minutes. It has 32 questions. About 12 is like filling the gap questions, and then the 20 is objective questions. So there is also a book I will display for you guys. This book, you have to read it for you to pass. If you can do that on your own, you need to read it, or you go through the theory class scheduled by the driving license school. So for me, I just went to the driving license school. I did the theory on my own because I got the book, and also I got like a link to practice questions that would probably that you should be expecting in that day, and it will give you the interface of how the exam is. All right, so with this practice question, if you can pass the practice question, it's like a mock exam. If you can pass, definitely you will pass the question. You have to be very fast. It's 25 minutes, and the overall mark is 70, and you have to get 68 because it's in the pass mark. For me, I thought it's gonna be easy. I mean, it's easy, but I had to write it like 4 times. Though the cost of writing the exam, the theory exam, is 30 PLN, 30 to 40 PLN. So you register, you are scheduled for the exam, you go to write the exam, and then your result will be displayed immediately. So for me, I thought just it's something we can do. Of course, it will be in English. I tried the first time, I couldn't get it. I didn't read the textbook because I was like, no, I should be able to pass this. But same mistake I did the second time. I didn't even go through the online mock exams. I was just busy with schoolwork, and then go to write the exam, of course, because it's 30 PLN. So, and then the third time I had to sit back and be like, no, you have to go through this book. So I registered, I wrote, I read the book, and I couldn't complete it because I was in haste, or I wanted to pass it, like I wanted to get done with this stage. So I didn't finish the book, the textbook. I didn't finish. I was not passing the mock exam. Because I had already registered even before I started reading them. So the date was getting closer, but I had to go and write. I think I scored 67, so I didn't pass. I was really not happy. But the fourth time, because it was that Saturday that I saw the exam in the result, because you see there I registered immediately that day, and then within 2 weeks I had to go back and read it, revise it, go and through the mock exam, and also ask a friend who also passed through it, and then he told me, oh, you need to read the book. There is no brainer, you need to read the book. So I read the book, and then I also passed the mock exam, like test. So having passed that, you will be able to pass that. So the link to the mock exam or the link to the test will be on the description below. You can also check that. But of course, if you will be studying this on your own, you have to buy like a scratch card. I think it's 30 PLN for you to have access to this mock exam or mock test. So with that, you should be able to pass the exam. So you register for the theory, you go through the teaching process. If you want to read on your own, you can do that. You will buy the textbook, or it will be all inclusive in the package. But for me, I got the textbook for 100 zloty, and then I also the textbook came along with the scratch card, so that's all inclusive. Then also because I was registering for the training, so definitely that was all inclusive. So I will get to the training section. So after that, I went through it and then passed the theory. So after you pass the theory, that is when you would also inform the school, because you can do it simultaneously. Because while I was writing the theory exam, I was also going for the practical lesson. So the practical lessons is mandatory 30 hours lesson. So if you are busy, you are in school, you are working, you have a tight schedule, you can relate with the school. They will schedule time for you, because usually I do my weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So it's usually in Saturday in the morning by 7 to 2 hours. I mean, that was 6 to 8, yes. And on Sunday, same thing, 6 to 8, sometimes 8 to 10, depending on the schedule before I go to church. So regardless of how busy you are, you can schedule it. And there is something about the payment as well. The most expensive part is this driving lesson, the practical driving lesson, because as at then it was about 2,700 PLN. That was in 2022, yeah. So now, and it also depends on the city. I think in Warsaw it's close to 3,000 PLN. So but you can speak with the school. There are also plans, flexible payment plan, because you can pay in installment or in milestone depending on the agreement with the school. So with that, it will be also easier for you to meet up with the payment. After getting through the lessons, you will also do an internal exam with the school, so that they can know that you can pass this exam. You can pass the exam when the exam time comes. So with that, you would having passed the theory and the practical exams, the school will have to register you to write the exam. So you cannot do this on your own. You have to go through the school. That is the system here. You have to go through the school. Whichever school you are going through, they know the procedure. They have referral links, and also be able to assist you with probably a doctor that you for the eye test, and they will give you trainings on how to pass the theory if you want. But most importantly, you have to go through the practical lessons. So depending on your schedule, you can do this within 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So that's that about the preparation. And the final lap, which is the exam, the practical exam. So payment of the practical exam is 140 PLN. So with this, you pay for the exam, and if you will not be writing in Polish, because the instructor for the driving exam will be in Polish. So if you are writing in English, you need a translator. So for you to have a translator, of course, the school can also provide you with that, but of course you have to pay additional money. I think it's about 250 to 350 PLN for a translator. So the translator will be seated behind you. The instructor will be there. So for the exam, after you've paid and you've registered for the exam, of course you pass the internal practical exam by the school. For the exam, I will share my experience. For the exam day, I got there early enough. Definitely, you have to go with, I think then there was still COVID, nose mask and gloves with the interpreter, and then we went there. Basically, they will train you how to drive and also how to pass the exam, because that's also very important. There are 2 stages in writing the practical. The first stage is within the exam hall, the exam center. These stages, you will be asked to identify 3 things in the car. Of course, it's in Polish. You'll be asked maybe, where is the engine oil, where is the fluid for the wiper, where is the brake lights, the fog light, and stuff like that. It should be asked in Polish. Your interpreter will tell you, then you identify that. After that, you go through the second stage in the exam center. There's like a corner, so they start to finish. You would have to start without you turning off the engine. Once you start, of course, how to pass the exam, they will tell you have to do the necessary things. Just check your side mirror and your seat belt, everything, because once you start the car, you cannot change anything, you cannot alter anything. So that's how it's important for you to make sure everything is set. Then you go through that angle, you have to be careful you don't touch the line. You park, then you take you reverse and back to where you started from. So once you pass that one, most people, that's where they fail, because this one is not very difficult, but it's very kind of challenging part, because you have to be very careful. It's a very thin line, and it has curve and corner, and then you have to take the car through these curves and hills. And after that, you still have to come back reverse to the initial point where you start. So after doing this, you then go through the EU. So how to use the handbrake and then EU. So and then after you pass that, the next thing is to go to the main exam, which will be outside. So the exam should not be up to 25 to 30 minutes. I mean, after that, you go out. Most importantly, you do not beat the threshold of 50 km/h. You do not, you give priority to pedestrian. You do not beat the traffic light, and of course, you ensure you follow all the necessary turn left, turn right, and after that, I believe you'll be able to pass. So for my experience, I was really lucky. Let me put it that way, because during this process, you just have 2 strikes. The first strike and the second one, once you fail, that's the end of the exam. You have to come back, you have to pay the 140 PLN and also pay the interpreter. And they will also ask you to go through maybe 2 hours or 3 hours mandatory, lessons again, which is costly. And then, so for me, let me share my experience. I had the first strike. I was told to turn, there's this roundabout, just like take the second exit, and then you where's the second exit? So I just had to take somewhere, the exit that I thought is the second exit, which was the third exit, and then the examiner was like, this is not the second exit, this is the third exit. Okay, that's strike number 1. Then the second strike was when the instructor told me to turn right. Of course, I was on this lane, then there was a pedestrian crossing before me, and then he told me to turn right. So before the translator told me that turn right, the reaction time was late for me, because I had almost gotten to the pedestrian crossing. So I had to turn right, of course, because I was told to turn right. So when I turned right, the examiner just said stop the car, and then he took over the wheel, and then he parked, and then he said the exam is over, I failed. And then he explained to me that this is the first strike, this was the second strike. Then I said, can I say something? That this was the issue. I understand that you asked me to turn right, but this was the point you asked me to turn right. And before the interpreter told me to turn right, it was already late, but I had to turn right because you had to turn right. And then he was, oh, that's true. That's a reasonable, not an excuse, but this is reasonable. So he said, okay, let's continue the exam. So that was how I continued the exam, and then I passed. So when we finished, he gave me the pass certificate, and then that was it. I was really happy because I haven't gone through this whole process to the final end and not passing. So after that, you go back to where you got your PKK. You take the certificate you got, and then you pay 100 PLN. As at then, probably it could be 120 or 150 now PLN. Then you get your driver's license. So it will take maybe 2 to 3 weeks for you to get that. Once you pay, you will be told to come back. Once it's ready, they send you an SMS or an email. Then you come back, and then you get your driver's license. So after you get a driver's license, you're free to drive in Poland and also in the EU countries. So this is my experience of getting my driver's license, and this is how to get your driver's license. If you have any question, comment, or even if you want a referral, please do that on the comment section. I'll be happy to assist you on this. And if you do like this video, please do subscribe, share, and like and comment. Thank you very much once again for joining, And thank you for staying tuned to Emmanuel Comfort Us. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.